Hello everyone, we're pushing ahead with angles because we're going to do arithmetic tomorrow. So we're going to look today at calculating unknown angles, and we're going to use all of our angle knowledge so far, including using some protractors at the end of this lesson to help us out. So the first thing I want you to do is look at this diagram and say, do you remember this? Now, if it's made up of two right angles, how many degrees is that? Well, as you should definitely know by now, a right angle is 90 degrees. So we've got two lots of 90 degrees, that's 180 degrees, or a half turn if you like. Now, look at this. What's the same? What's different about it? And if the small angle is 40 degrees, can we work out the larger obtuse angle? Well, although there's no right angles now, that is different, it's still 180 degrees. It still does an exact half turn over here. So if the small angle is 40 degrees, then we can work out the larger obtuse angle by saying 40 plus what is 180, or, like we do with missing number problems, do it the other way and say 180, take away this 40, leaves us with what? Depending on which way you want to do it, 40 plus something is 180, count on from 40 to 180. I don't want to do that in ones though, maybe in tens. But if I do it the other way, 180 take away 40, that's 140. So this is 140 degrees, and that is an obtuse angle. Remember, an obtuse angle is any angle between 90 degrees, a right angle, and 180 degrees. Angles bigger than 180 degrees are reflex angles. Now, it's your turn. Using the same strategy, what can we do here? Well, here I would say it's still 180, but now we know the obtuse angle. However, once again, if we take out the obtuse angle, then we can find the missing bit, or we could say 104 plus what makes the half turn, which is 180. So in this case, I would do, let me get my pen here to write it, 180 take away 104. And now it's important, just because we're doing angles, so we don't forget all of our calculation knowledge. I can't do 0 take away 4, so I need to regroup. I'm going to take this 8, I'm going to turn it into 7 tens, and turn the 0 into 10 ones. So now I have the same amount, 170 plus 10 is 180, but now I can do it, because 10 take away 4 is 6. Then I've got 7 take away nothing is 7, and 1 take away 1 is 0. I'm not even going to write that in. I've got 76 degrees, which is an acute angle. Excellent. What you can also notice here is that there's this line going up, which means that this section here must be 14 degrees, because this here is a right angle. What about this one? Speaking of right angles, how can we calculate the missing angle now that we're not doing a half turn? Pause the video and give it a go. And when you've unpaused it and come back, we can say, well, this time we know that even though it's not written here, we're aware that this bit here, that's 90 degrees. So if that's 90 degrees, then we must have 67 plus something equals 90 degrees. And we could do some counting on here. Or we could do it the other way and say, right, I've got 90 and I'm not interested in this bit, which is 67. So I'm going to say 90, taking away 67. What am I left with? Once again, we can't do 0 take away 7, so we're going to regroup that. And we're going to say that is 3, and that is 2, so it must be 23 degrees. Okay, now that we've done these ones together, I want you to try this, and then when you're done it, come back for the second part of the video. Remember, these I will need you to send to me so I can look at them. And now we're going to look at the next level. We've done it so far, really well done. Now, what about for whole turns? Well, we can do this for whole turns too. What can you tell me about these angles here? In this case, there are 4 right angles making a complete turn around the point. So if they're making a complete turn, that means it's 360 degrees, because 4 times 90, or 2 times 180, is 360. Here, you could ignore the zeros, and you'd be using your 9 times table. So 9 plus 9 is 18, double it again, 36. Now here, what's the same and what's different? Well, here, without a protractor, we couldn't work out what these angles are, because if we want to calculate a missing angle, we'd need to know the others. But if we know the others, then we can total the angles we know and subtract them from 360 degrees. So let's try that here. How can we work this out? Well, in this case, we want to add up all the things. We know that the angles around the point total 360 degrees, and we know that there's 2 lots of 52 here and 128. If we add them all together, we get 232, Then we just take them all away to find what we're left with. 360 take away 232 is 128. Here, they've done some regrouping. That's why the 3 and the 2 here don't add to 6. Now it's your go. How can you do this one? Pause the video and try this one. And then if you've done it, we can use here the 2 straight lines. We know what the right angles are. We know this is 180. So really, we can ignore the top half. The bottom half then is just 146 plus what is 180, or 180 take away the other bit. So the angle, oh, hang on a second. Do you know what? I think I pasted the wrong thing, haven't I? My mistake, guys. Okay. Ignore this speech bubble. We're going to do this one ourselves. Here, I've got 90 plus 90 is 180. And I know that 146 plus something is going to be 180. So I'm going to do this the other way. I'm going to say 180. Take away this bit here, which I know. 180. Here we go. Take away the 146 that we've got. What are we going to be left with? And in this case, then that's going to be 10 here. 10 take away 6 is 4. 7 take away 4 is 3. I don't need to do that. So this one is 34 degrees. Brilliant. Ignore the speech bubble. Now it's going to be your turn. I want you to look at these ones and see if you can work them out. For part 1, I want you to see if you can calculate them. It says here this is not to scale. That means if you printed out and measured it with a protractor, they wouldn't necessarily be correct. So for this first one, you need to use the fact that the line here is 180 and this bit is 103 to work out the missing number. Try it for all of these. It should be similar to some of the estimation work you did yesterday. Good luck and let me know how you get on.